Hi, gorgeous. This is episode number 66 with the amazing Natalie Ledwell, the Law of Attraction Guru.
Hi, this is Natalie Ledwell, and you are listening to Heart Sells Podcast with Christine Schlonsky. Enjoy.
I can't wait to dive into this amazing episode where we actually will find out how to create success far beyond our wildest dreams. And this is so very exciting. So make sure you hop on over to christineschlonsky.com and reserve your seat for the third Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass, where I have gathered amazing teachers who will share their secrets with you, who will help you to find spiritual and practical steps to increase your sales and create true wealth without losing your authenticity. It is all about selling more so that you can serve more, that you can be more in the world, that you can pay for your dreams. And it shows you really how to become a mindful millionaire, how to find the millionaire within, how to be a go-giver, and so much more. So find out at christineschlonsky.com at the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass number 3. Reserve your seat today and also join me virtually on April 30th when I am going to pop a bottle of champagne at Brandenburg Gate in the heart of Berlin in Germany, where I'm going to celebrate you and your amazing gifts. So let's continue with Natalie Ledwell and let's see how we can create our wildest dreams. So Natalie is a risk taker, a nonconformist, a rule breaker, and a maker who believes nothing is impossible. She's author and authentic and internationally renowned motivational speaker, best-selling author, Law of Attraction guru, host of the Inspiration Show and Wake Up TV, and the co-founder of the revolutionary personal development company Mind Movies. Her mission is to empower 10 million adults and kids all over the world to lead lives filled with joy, happiness, and passion, the lives they are designed to live. Over the years, Natalie has owned several successful businesses with her partner Glenn, traveled all corners of the world, eaten scorpions, bungee jumped, skydived, hand glided, and one of her mottos is, I try anything once and twice if it's good. In the last 7 years, Natalie and her team at Mind Movies have touched the lives of over 5.8 million people across the globe and are showered every day with their success stories. Right now, she resides in Southern California with her puppy Bella, whom she just loves and is crazy about. So let's welcome to the show. Well, I am so excited to have you on Heart Sells Podcast today, Natalie. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and I love all your work. I'm really excited to share that with the listeners. I mean, you have done so much, but I would love to start off with a quote that can be found on your website. And it says, there is nothing more delicious than living a life on purpose and making a difference regardless of how many people you influence. So most entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, light workers, therapists, they really have like this big vision, but it basically all starts with us, right?
Absolutely. I know. And that's the thing, when you have this passion, or you have a calling, or you have a purpose, and it speaks to your heart and it gets you excited every time you think about it, you know that you have to follow that journey. You have to go down that road. But what requires that is not just the passion. The passion is kind of the fuel and the motivation to keep you going. But there's a dance between the conscious things like running a business and setting up websites and making phone calls and doing trainings. And then you have the esoteric part of who we are that actually gets to fuel that, so that we can create a success that's far beyond our wildest dreams, that we couldn't have done without just on our own, that we had to do by leveraging the power of the universe as well.
Yeah, I love that. I think you're the first person I have on Hard Sells who actually uses the word esoteric, and I just love it. So you're really like a queen of manifesting. You really know how to use the law of attraction, and you have also made it work for your business, because when many people think like law of attraction, oh, that means I can manifest a relationship or the house or the car or whatever. But it really is about so much more. Can you take us a little bit like behind the scenes, so to speak, of how using the law of attraction can really influence your business?
Yes. Well, it wasn't until we started using the law of attraction that we had outrageous success. You know, my now ex-husband, who's still my business partner, his name is Glenn. So Glenn and I had, for 10 years, a whole bunch of different businesses, from nightclubs to coffee franchises to advertising companies. Like we tried everything, because we were good in business together, and we knew the mechanics of running a business. And I remember in 2006, I had a moment where I'm sitting at my desk in Sydney, and I'm looking at my bank balance and I'm looking at all of our bills, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like we're working 4 businesses at the same time. We're working really long hours. And I'd been a student of personal development from the age of 21. So I knew about setting goals, and in my mind, we were doing everything right. And yet we were still struggling. I'm like, I'm missing a vital piece of information here. And then a friend of mine suggested that we watch a movie called The Secret, which introduced the concept of the law of attraction to me and to Glenn for the first time. And we were like, oh my goodness, this is the missing piece. Because before that, when we'd see a future and we'd visualize it, we'd just see it in our mind. We didn't realize that what you need to inject that visualization with is emotion. The other thing is that I would never set a lofty goal or an outrageous goal, because I had to know all the steps to get there. So if I didn't know all the steps, I didn't believe that it could happen. And I didn't realize that that wasn't my job, that all I needed to do was be clear about where I wanted to go. And so not long after that, a friend of ours approached us and showed us this little movie that he'd created, which was like affirmations and photos and music combined. So it was his version of a vision board, and it helped him to visualize this future that he wanted. And I remember seeing this for the first time, and I still get goosebumps when I think about it. You know, and this guy is in his early 30s, he's single, so he's got all these girls in bikinis and cars that I am not interested in. But still, I recognized the power of this little movie. And not long after that, he said, look, I'd like to go into business with the two of you. I'd like to set up a website, and so that we can, distribute the instructions for people to make these movies. And at the time, Glenn couldn't turn on a computer. I had no idea how to do that. I only used a computer for banking and bookkeeping. I didn't spend any time on the internet. I hadn't heard of YouTube, hadn't heard of Facebook. I didn't know what any of these things were. But we did understand how powerful that little movie was. And so we started then applying what we knew about the law of attraction to this idea of getting the message out in the world of how to create these movies. And so, we created a mind movie about what we wanted, how we had created this successful business, how we're reaching, millions of people around the world, how, we were enriching lives, how we were, successful and traveling and speaking and all of the things that we wanted to do in our business. And of course, we set specific monetary goals as well. And once we figured out how you could do the internet marketing thing, we purchased a program. We came over to the US for 6 months just to launch my movies to the world. We aligned ourselves with the right people. We joined a mastermind group, and we met a whole bunch of other internet marketers. So we were like sponges. Even in social situations, we were learning and just, being a sponge and figuring out what we had to do to launch this idea. So by the time we got to the launch, it was September 2008, which also was when the economic crisis had hit the planet. And so, everything in the external world was saying this is going to fail. And we had accumulated $120,000 on credit cards just to get this thing launched. We went into that morning of the launch thinking we don't know whether this is going to win or not, or whether this is going to fail or not. But we were so determined, and so we had so much faith that it would be successful because of all of the things that we had implemented along the way. And in the end, we ended up doing $100,000 the first hour. And we ended up doing a $700,000 launch, selling a $97 program in a time where economically people were losing their homes and they're losing their jobs and they're losing everything. They would have to reset their lives. So it just happened to be a perfect storm that could have gone either way. But I think that when we had all of our business acumen, but then we also were able to go, okay, here's our mind movie. We would visualize every day. We do things like we understood how important it was for us to stay in a vibrational alignment to what we wanted to create. So when we were getting super stressed, because, we didn't have money to pay anyone. So we had to figure out how to edit videos and build websites and write emails and all of these things that go along with the business side of things. So we would leave the apartment, we get a coffee, we go down to the dog beach in San Diego, because, watching dogs happy, frolicking on the beach would just help to get us out of that stress. And then we'd go into this exercise where we would have this conversation in present tense as if it had already happened or was happening now, about how successful the launch was. We talked about, the respect from our peers and taking our family on holidays and all of those things that we knew that the business was just a vehicle for. Okay, so yes, when you're thinking about creating a successful business or creating wealth in your life, when you're visualizing, you're not just thinking about the money, you're thinking about what it represents for you. So, so we would do that and watch our mind movie every day. And believe me, there was 1,000 things that went wrong in that launch. Our email delivery system shut down our account because our list grew so quickly, they thought we were doing something illegal. The PayPal or our, shopping cart, they froze our account for 6 months with $500,000 sitting in it, and we nearly went bankrupt. But there was, and again, like all these things, which can be a major upset, but because we were doing the practice, we're meditating every day, we're doing our visualizations, we're watching our mind movie, we're taking action in alignment. Every time a challenge would come up, the mantra we always had was, well, there's always more than one solution to every challenge. So which one are we going to choose? That way we're always in the energy of solution rather than being in the energy of the challenge itself.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of got us through.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So one question that just came up was, did you guys have the same mind movie, or did you have each one created one for you?
We actually had one mind movie. So there was Ryan, our friend, Glenn, and myself. And then we were able to convince two guys that ended up being our JV managers to set up the JV relationships, and a woman who was copywriting, and the guy that built the affiliate tracking system. We were able to convince these people to work on a percentage of the launch because we had no money to pay them up front. So we even had them watching the mind movie as well. So when you have, it's what that's doing is magnifying the power of being able to leverage the universe, because we are all focusing on the one intent or the one intention. Yes. And so, when you do this, remember that when you're visualizing and you're reprogramming your subconscious mind, you're also reprogramming your reticular activating system. So now we have this, little ball of nerves at the base of our brain, which is the gatekeeper between the 40 million bits of data our subconscious mind is processing per second. Out of the 40 million, it decides which 40 pieces are going to go through the conscious mind because it's all it can handle. And so when you program it saying, this is my reality, this is what I want, this is my intention, you start to notice things in your peripheral, in your environment that are going to help you get there. So when we have 7 people doing that all at the same time, that just magnifies the power of us being able to to take the opportunities and see what's going on and recognize, the things that the universe is sending us to help us, create our reality.
Yeah, I love it. And that was the base of my question, was to figure out, is there a way that it would magnetize if a lot of people watch the same movie and align with the mission?
Yes.
So I guess the advice would be, if you are an entrepreneur and you have a team, creating something for the team like this would be very powerful, that people can tune into that mission as well.
Yeah, and I think it's not just creating it for the team, but creating it with the team.
Oh yes, with the team, so that there is alignment. Often teams get together and set goals, or talk about what they want to do and how they want to show up and who they want to be in this world. So I think that would be a really great idea to use on a more conscious level, not just thinking like, where do I want to go, but also like, how can I integrate or include and do it with a team together? Then so much more stronger.
Yeah. So when I'm working with people, and I've I do a lot of work with Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I've personally helped thousands of people make their mind movies. But what really helps to understand or to figure out what your narrative is, or what the affirmations are going to be. So the reason we use affirmations is because it's not like you're going to read these affirmations in the mirror and state something that doesn't exist right now. We have to use affirmations because, number one, we need to state them in present tense, because when we visualize, we have to see it as if it's happening now. The second thing is that we have to use the right language when we're talking about our future. So we don't want to say something like, I'm pain-free or I'm debt-free, because each word conjures up a picture. So we want to avoid the words like pain and debt. But when we're also creating our affirmations, there are 5 types of affirmations that I recommend that really comprehensively describes this future that you want. So the first type of affirmation is what I call what. So what is it that you want? An outrageously successful business that serves a certain part of the population, that that you feel passionate about, whatever that is. So really be descriptive about what it is that you want. And then the next type of affirmation, which is really the juice for your visualizations, is, what does life look like now that I'm here? Okay, so imagining what your day looks like, what, how this changes things for your family. Are you traveling? Are you waiting, starting work at lunchtime? Are you, what are those things? What is it going, how's it going to change your life? The next type of affirmation is really the motivation and the fuel to keep you going when the going gets tough. And these are your why affirmations. And especially when you're in business and you're with a team, you want to do one of the whys need to be about the people that you serve. Okay. Another why could be about the team that you've built. Another why is for the people that you love. And then a why for you personally, like, why are you personally doing this? And then we have our action affirmations. So if there's things that we need to change to our daily practice or daily routines, we add them in as affirmations as if you're already doing them. And then the last one's what I call your thought affirmations. So how do you need to change the way you think to be this wealthy, successful business person that's changing the world or changing your community through the gifts that you have and the business that you've built? Okay, so if you know of any negative thoughts that are coming up and you get to write them down on paper, what are the opposite of those thoughts? What are the thoughts that you're choosing instead that are going to empower you into this, amazing, successful business?
Yeah, I love it. And you just said something that really caught my attention. You get to write them down. And I just want to point that out. This is coming from such an empowered place, because we get to means we have a choice. Right? It's not the victim, like, oh, we need to or we should. No, we get to. It is an invitation that we can make the choice each and every day new. And I just love that. So I love, like, by now you have touched over 5.3 million with mind movies. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, 5.8 million.
Yes.
It's so incredible. And how does it feel like from seeing that journey And I would guess that when you started the journey, you didn't know how it's going to work out. You just did what needed to be done in the moment. You used the now to get really, really clear on where you wanted to go. So how does it feel like just looking back?
Well, there was a lot of being in the now, especially during that launch, because it was so stressful and we were so outside of our comfort zone, which is why we would, take that time to really get, watch our mind move, meditate, get out of the energy of it and change our vibration. But even then, like part of those conversations used to talk about the team that we would build. And I would say to Glenn, what I want is for us to have these ideas and put it to the team and they would make it happen. And we get to, create all these programs and help all these people, which is exactly what we did. And we did it in a very short period of time because that was the direction in which we wanted to head. So we always knew that. So yes, what I get to live now has exceeded anything I could have ever dreamt up for myself. For the business, yes, I did see this. I did see that we would have the ability to do this and that we would be able to do it. When we're about to go into the schooling systems around the world now with social emotional learning programs, but everything else on top of that, I was just saying to you before, I just purchased this beautiful apartment in Los Angeles that's overlooking the marina, and it's so lovely. My friends are people like Jack Canfield and Lisa Nichols and all those guys that were in The Secret who I looked up to are now my peers. I have this incredible circle of supportive, amazing, spiritually minded business women who are my closest friends. And we're just like this incredible support system for each other. And I have all this love and amazement in my life that I never imagined. And it's sort of like an extra, on top of, it's like the cream on top of everything else. But the business, you know what, if you don't see it in your mind first and truly believe that it can happen, then you'll never reach it. I was doing a session with a woman yesterday and I said, okay, let's get really real here for a minute. I said, what is a number, like a money number that you would be earning per month that probably scares you a little bit, but would put you in a really comfortable place? And this woman's just starting a business online and she's got 5 kids and she goes $20,000 a month. I went, great, let's write it down. And she just smiled and I go, so how are you feeling right now? She goes, well, it's scary. I go, exactly. But the thing is, if you don't write the scary number, then you'll never reach the scary number. And the thing is, you might think you'd be happy with 10 grand, but 10 grand you'll probably blast past on the way to 20. So you have to sit in that uncomfortable, scary fear for a moment, but don't stay there. Just keep moving forward.
Yeah. And I love that you said at the beginning, you were in a mastermind. You ask for help and support to learn faster, right? That still means you have to do the work, but to learn, to be supported, to create yourself a container that you can grow to make these things happen. And so many people kind of get hung up because they want to figure it out all by themselves. And it's not really working. So I mean, we both are coaches, so we highly recommend getting some help so that there's no such thing like a shortcut, but it makes life so much easier to learn from other people's mistakes.
But joining a mastermind is not just about gaining knowledge. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
On the plane on the way over from Sydney to San Diego, I said to Glenn, I go, right, because we'd bought a program from a guy called Frank Hearn, and it was his event we were going to. And I go, we need to meet this guy, Frank, because he's a genius. We need to figure out how he's going to mentor us because he's the man. And I go, and then we need to meet other marketers. And so at that event, he announced he was doing his first mastermind, but you had to apply for it. So I'm sitting there, I'm writing out of a very compelling reason why he should be accepting us, while Glenn and Ryan are sitting next to me going, we can't afford it. Because really we were over there on credit cards. We didn't have a lot of money. And it was $2,700 a month commitment. And, should we do it? I don't know. Do we have access? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just get up and walking away. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, are you kidding me? They go, I can't believe I manifested this quickly. We have to be in this group. This is why we're here. And so I walk off and Ryan says to Glenn, mate, he's your wife. And Glenn goes, well, I can't control her. But it was one of the smartest things we did, because not only were we in that amazing environment of learning and so forth, but it wasn't just from one person. You're learning from the mastermind. And there was a lot of very intelligent, smart people in that room that were great business people. So we were really feeding off the intelligence of the group. And then when things like our email delivery system being shut down, Frank was the first on the phone to help us get it reinstated. When he was there to support us in many other ways, and so were everybody else in that group. So, joining a group like that is I can't even say enough how important it is, especially when you're starting out. Because no one does it alone. We don't do it alone.
No, we don't. And I've been in a mastermind myself, and I know how valuable it is, because people sometimes can show you a direction that you are not even seeing.
Yes.
Because, we can't see our full potential. And it's really wonderful to have that support, and to not only learn, but having really a support system in place where if something is difficult or hard, you can just reach out and tap into other people's knowledge and experience. It's beautiful. Yeah. Wow. So time flies with you. To finish this first episode, what would you like to leave us with? Can you share like a mantra you're using right now? Some inspirational words to finish off?
Well, my mantra right now is, because I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking competition, is that time expands to meet my needs. Because often I will get up in the morning and go, what's going on? I've got all these things I can't get it done. So time expands to meet my needs is my mantra. But if there's any nugget of information that I hope that you've garnered from this particular interview, is that you have to see it in your mind first. Go there every day. Because you can get stuck in the grind of what's happening in front of you, and there will be grind, and there has to be grind. But you have to escape the grind into your future in your mind every single day as often as you can. Because when you're doing that, and we'll talk about this in the next one, about how we're creating these new neural pathways and how it's changing the way we think and we act, so that we're in this vibrational alignment. So take a little vacation in your mind every day to this beautiful future, and before you know it, it will be your future.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I'm so super excited, and I can't wait to have the next interview with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just loved sharing time with Natalie, and we did spend some time together in the past as well. We already shared a dance floor, and that was really, really fun. And I just loved each and every minute that we got today to share with you. So I hope you have a rather clear picture of how you can create success far beyond your wildest dreams. Make sure you connect with her. Make sure you check out the Mind movies, because this is a tool that can really, truly change your life. Another tool that is about to change your life is a free online event called the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass, which I am already hosting for the third time, and you are more than welcome to join. No, I am inviting you to join. I would love for you to join, because I have gathered such amazing speakers who are sharing their success secrets with you, so that you can have spiritual and practical steps to increase your sales and create true wealth without losing your authenticity. Hop on over to christineschlonski.com. That is the page where you find everything, the masterclass, the podcast, more about me and my journey, and where you can really just go and have a scroll, look around, and make sure you sign into the Sales Mentality Makeover Masterclass, because we are getting started very soon. And I would love to see you on April 30th, when I'm gonna pop my bottle of champagne to celebrate your gifts and your awesomeness. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and bye for now.